Hi there, it's Vladimir. Today is 24th day of my commitment. I wanna start this talk from addressing the mistakes which I made in the previous video. My goals are to use perfect grammar, to avoid fillers, to speak slowly, practice my pronunciation and practice my English. Every day after I make a video, I watch it, check my mistakes, and try to think how can I fix them. So one of the best way, of course, is just writing them down, and then when I speak the next time, I just point out these mistakes. So the first thing, reciprocal. Yeah, yesterday I used the word reciprocal. I don't know why it was reciprocal, but anyway, the correct way of saying it is reciprocal relationships. Another mistake which I made many times in the previous video was saying plural forms instead of singular, and again singular forms instead of plural, and it occurred very often. I think I need to be more careful when I choose words. Sometimes I don't even see that I make mistakes here. I also don't like how I pronounce the word because. So instead of saying because, I'm trying to learn how to use cause, especially when I speak fast, cause I want to, or whatever I say, when I use because, it sounds really terrible for me. And I like to substitute it with cause, because everybody can understand what cause means. But because it's the same, it's not bad, but I don't like it and I want to change it. One more mistake was I said take yourself out of the equation. It was the technique, but actually the technique is called taking yourself out of the equation. But anyway, it's like a small mistake. Another mistake was because of, well, there was a sentence when I said because her or because me, and I forget of, so because of her or because of me. One more example, it's not a mistake, I used just a word which I like to substitute with another word. So I said we start finding evidence, whereas a better way of saying it is we start looking for evidence. And I guess it's a mistake because finding and looking for mean different things. So finding, when you find something, it's you already have it. Or when you must say trying to find, but finding, it's like it doesn't have the same meaning. And few more things which I like to work on are words like positive and understanding. So I usually say positive or I know the correct way of pronouncing it, if I try to learn American pronunciation, is positive, but it's not positive, it's positive emotions, positive, and this it's like I struggle with this because we don't have such sound in Russian, and it's a big problem. Like it's even harder to say it correctly in certain words than to say which is like in man or sad. It's harder for me to say But in some words like father or daughter or thought, I practiced it and it sounds almost perfect. Or at least I don't have any irritation when I say this word. Whereas when I say positive, 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 it sounds so unnatural for me. And another word is understanding, which is understanding, understanding. So I didn't like to use R here because it sounds weird. So understanding, understanding. And understanding is a better way of saying this word, but I usually skip it. When I think fast, when I speak fast, I don't pay attention to my pronunciation. So instead of saying understanding, understanding, I usually say understanding, which I don't like. Well, it's another thing. I just want to pay attention to it. Now, let's eventually start the talk. Today I'm gonna continue talking about relationships, but I don't want to develop the same concept which I tried to elaborate yesterday. Yesterday I was talking about this idea of taking yourself out of the equation when you have a fight with your partner. As soon as you look at what's going on from the kind of different perspective, when you are detached from your personal emotions and feelings, you may see better what's going on. And taking yourself out of the equation means that you simply think about the situation as if it were happening with somebody else, not with you. And you write it down, you create a kind of plot out of the situation. You try to make like two different characters, which are you and your partner, but it's like just characters, person one, person two. And you learn to, like, you make up a story where this situation will be resolved. You create maybe some imaginary dialogues, but your goal here is to understand why your partner thinks that you are wrong. And understanding that you are wrong means that you must really understand it. You must understand that your partner doesn't speak or doesn't think about you. It's not you, it's a model of you. So in her mind, there's just a model which isn't necessarily related 100% to your model of yourself. And it's a very complicated topic, but the whole idea is that you need to understand that she is upset not because of you, but because of this model of you. If you're, again, it's a fight. It's not just a usual situation. It's a fight. There is a situation. We both disagree about what happened in this situation, and your partner is upset. And you, in order to understand how to solve this situation, you must understand what's going on with your partner. And you shouldn't tell, like, look, I understand what's going on, but you don't understand. No, you have to understand, and understanding means that you'll find something that will show you that you're wrong, even if you think that you're right. It doesn't matter. You may be right and wrong simultaneously. And from her perspective, you may be wrong, and you must understand why you're wrong. And then if you disagree, of course, you may build a dialogue, you may build a conversation, like imagining a conversation, trying to explain why you think the situation is different. But the first thing, you must understand that you are wrong. Because if you think, no, it's like, I disagree, I understand your point, but I disagree, I have my own, and the problem is that you don't see my point. It's not going to work. You need to understand, you must really understand. You must be able to explain to your partner why she is angry better than she herself may explain it. And if you are able to put it in words, then you may, get somewhere. But if you can't do that, it's probably may ruin the whole your communication. Anyway, so what's time? It's already 10 minutes. I was going to talk about different elements in communication. I think it's more important now than just some random thoughts on relationships, which I tried to put in this talk, and this, which I try to develop while I have this self-talk. Instead of these random thoughts and developing certain concepts, I'd like to talk about things which I've learned from books. And it's like to improve, it's like I repeat it quite often, I need to pay attention. To improve our communication, we have to learn more about this process of communication. And in this process of communication, there are 7 elements which are kind of basic elements of every interaction, every communication. There are people, messages, channels, noise, context, feedback, and effect. And every concept, like people, for example, what does it mean, people? There are always people in every interaction. Like right now, for example, it's a kind of public speaking. There are 3 types of settings, like interpersonal communication, small group communication, or public speaking. Now I do public speaking because if nobody watches it, if nobody watches it, I'm just doing self-talk, but it's not self-talk because I upload it on YouTube, and now since you are watching it, you're a different person. You watch what I'm saying. It's public speaking, and if I talk to myself without recording this on the camera and publishing on YouTube, it's probably not even be communication. It's gonna be self-talk, but maybe self-talk is also communication, but doesn't matter. The whole idea is that when there are people, there are senders and receivers, and many people think that like senders, when you send information, means that the man who speaks, he sends the information, and those who listen, they just pure receivers. But in reality, it's not the case, because we all the time were senders and receivers simultaneously. So if you have a certain impact on me, even though it's like I don't know who you are, I don't know where you are sitting and why are you watching this, it's still, since I'm talking to the camera and potentially I'm talking to the whole universe, it has a great impact on everything what I say. And it's easy to look at it in a context when we have a group conversation, for example. Some people just sit, they don't say anything, but they are still have part in communication, because even if they don't say anything, they have certain posture, they have certain expression on their face, they look at certain, at other people, at speakers, and it's always like you send lots of nonverbal messages in a communication, even if you don't speak anything. And so understanding this is very important, because you also may understand that what you pay attention to while you're speaking. Now, for example, I pay a lot of attention not just to what I'm trying to say, but also how it's gonna be perceived by people who are gonna watch it. And I'm trying to make it more understandable, but it's still very difficult. 14 minutes, I have just 1 minute to finish. I'm not going to go further and explain like message, channels, noise, feedback, and effect, but I think it's really important. Just, if you may read about these communication elements on the internet, you will find that it's very important after you have a conversation with somebody. If you want to improve your communication, you have to understand like what was going on during this conversation. And if it's a fight, it's even more important to be able to analyze all elements involved in this fight. So what was said, why it was said in this way, what happened, and as soon as you learn how to do it perfectly, it's like all these concepts, they are gonna be they're gonna have a certain impact on your communication style, and you will learn how to manage, how to handle all these communications way better. But it's well, okay, doesn't matter. So I try to explain it as as well as I can. I do my best. Anyway, now it's all. Subscribe to my channel, write comments, click the like button, share this video with your friends, and well, try to do it by yourself. Especially if your goal is to develop your English, if English is your foreign language, if English is your second language or third language, if it's not your native language, it's the very powerful exercise. When you just talk to the camera, record it for 10-15 minutes, then watch yourself, and especially if you upload it on YouTube, it's gonna blow up your mind. It's so powerful. You will see how fast you can go in developing your language. So now it's all. Bye bye. See you next time.